overshadowed the death of one of the true sporting greats here in Britain over the last 24 hours. Sir Henry Cooper, arguably, certainly the most famous boxer we've ever produced, and arguably our best, although we'll talk about that in just a little while, has slipped away from us at 75 years of age. Among the people who knew him and will no doubt have been influenced by him, I'm delighted to say, and I am delighted to say, we're joined now by the former world heavyweight champion, Frank Bruno. Good evening, Frank.
Good evening, Danny or Ray.
All right, Frank. Danny first. I've got Ray and Sam with me as well.
Hello, Frank.
Frank, try and tell us just exactly what Henry Cooper has meant to British boxing. Simple as that.
He was like Muhammad Ali was around the world, but in England he was one of the most nicest men that you could ever wish to meet. Never had a bad word to say against anybody.
I mean, and when you were coming up, I guess he had retired by then, but he was the legend at that stage of British heavyweight boxing.
Very, very much so, you know. I mean, he became more of a legend when he finished boxing. He done golf, he done the water rats, he done the Great Ormond Street, he done so many charities and helped so much people as well and touched so much people's heart.
Yeah, I know, Frank, I've met him once, and, you know, you could just see the awe of people going up to him, and he had a word with every single punter, you know, having a little chat with them, and they couldn't believe how nice he was. So you know, and to win 2 Sports Personality of the Years, it's an amazing achievement for him, wasn't it?
Very, very amazing achievement. One of his amazing achievements were when he knocked Muhammad Ali down on the floor. He was the greatest boxer that ever lived in my eyes. I'm not too sure if yours.
Frank, actually, just for the young people who don't even know what you're talking about, he was, of course, the first person ever to knock the great Muhammad Ali, then Cassius Clay, off his feet. Here's some commentary.
The bell has sounded, and he's up at about 3, Clay. That was the end of the 4th round, and he hit him about 2 seconds before the end of the round with the left hook. Clay took one chance too many, and he still doesn't know where he is. He's still half out, Clay.
Yeah, that was at Wembley in 1963, Frank, and afterwards Muhammad Ali, then Cassius Clay, said he hit me so hard that my ancestors in Africa felt it. which was very good, but at the time he was well hurt, wasn't he?
Oh, definitely. He was on the ground, on the ropes, on the floor, on his backside. I rocked him, actually putting him down on his backside. Unbelievable. We'll live forever with that memory, you know. Very nice man.
One thing we'll also remember, Frank, for many years, the fact he was British heavyweight champion for 12 years. Just put that into context for us.
You can't get that in Primark. You got to get that in Harrods or something like that. You know?
Yeah, that
achievement to have that 12 years, long reigning.
Will that ever be broken, do you think?
Life is life and time is time. Time is the master. Only time will tell, you know. You never know. You never know. You can never say never, but I don't think we'll be alive to see that happen.
And Frank, finally, what did he mean to you personally?
He was a nice guy, you know. I mean, some guys, Terry Lawless used to drop some lyrics on me and saying, you've got to be conducting yourself out of boxing as well. And he was just a great example, you know. Golf, you know, the Variety Club, the Water Rats. You can go on, you can make a record of how many things he was involved with in the charities. And he's a legend, and the legend will always live on, Henry Cooper.
And what about yourself, Frank? How are you getting on?
Sorry?
How are you getting on? Are you well and happy?
With a grumble, you know what I mean? I've got a little suntan today. I saw the kids, Nicola and Franklin, and it was a good day. You know, I went out shopping. The pockets hurt a little bit, but apart from that, nothing grumble at all, you know?
Yeah, you were at Harrods, not Primark as well. Good for you, Frank. Listen, always good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. That is the great and former world heavyweight champion, Frank Bruno. Thanks to him for joining us. I only could tell Frank there because the line's a little bit dodgy. We're going to hear from Johnny Nelson later on as well about Henry Cooper. A couple of things to say about this, guys. First of all, we have to remember, the younger people listen to our voice, that Henry Cooper was one of the very first people in an age when it was very hard to become a celebrity. Now everyone's a celebrity. To become an actual celebrity, he did adverts and all the rest of it. And secondly, if ever you want an example of modern footballers, how it's possible to be ultra famous and yet never lose track of your own roots.
Well, that's
Henry
exactly what I was
Cooper's
just
the
about
man.
to say, because, you know, I as I said before, I met him and he had a massive queue. You know, when people want to meet someone, Henry Cooper had the biggest queue going. And do you know what? He spent a little bit of time with every single person, you know. Whatever they asked him, he answered honestly. And, you know, he was just like being in a pub and everybody would come up to him, all right, Henry, and he would go, yeah, how's it going, how's this, how's that, and just like anybody else, but absolute legend, you know. You could just see the awe of what come out of people when they was talking to him, what they got out of him back, and, you know, the personality of the guy was amazing, it really was.
We also got to remember is the context of his achievements. You know, 12 years as the British heavyweight champion, but he wasn't really, by at least today's standards,
No
a
way.
heavyweight. I mean,
13 stone.
It was 14 stone at his heaviest.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
13 stone for most of his career. There was no cruiserweight division at the time, and many people believe, those who are really in the know, think that he would have absolutely wiped the floor with anyone at that sort of level. But of course, all the people that he was fighting were a lot heavier than that. We're talking about proper heavyweights.
And we should also talk about his courage. I mean, he had terrible skin for a boxer, by which I mean he wasn't.
Yeah.
He didn't have pock marks. He had terrible eyebrows, which are always being cut open. Anyone remembers the end of the second fight against Muhammad Ali, as he was then, and which took place incidentally, Ray, at Highbury, in the open air. He was cut to ribbons, and his face was a curtain of blood, but it didn't seem to bother him. And it really is a very sad day for everyone who's got any interest in sport that Sir Henry Cooper has passed on. But also make one more comment about that. He's the only person in boxing ever to have been knighted. Now, I know that the award system is a little bit weighted towards the toffs and their interests, but I mean, you only have to be on a minor soap as an actor to get yourself a knighthood these days, don't you?
Well,
and one person...
Hold on a second.
One person. Well, what about Ian McKellen? What's he done? He's Gandalf in 2 films. Ian, seriously?
Hasn't he set up some sort of theatre charity as well?
All right, let me ask you a question.
you know.
Why is Lennox Lewis not a knight around when Ian McKellen is?
Well, I think
they look at the
two
charity
different
word,
two different areas, aren't they?
Well, but boxing is as important to our culture as acting, surely.
Ooh, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, clearly it is. Yeah, but it's a working class pursuit.
I don't think Sir Ian McKellen won it for his acting, did he? Services to didn't he use services to something else?
Danny Dyer will have a knighthood before anyone else in boxing gets one. I promise you. Look, sweet, I got me out of knighthood here, yes. Well, it's all going to kick off down the palace, I promise you, yeah. It's all good. Oh, he looks a bit tasty, that footman. Anything good happen now?
So what you're suggesting is Sir Clive Woodward, of course, has got one from the world of sport.
Unbelievable.
I knew that'd get you riled.
Yeah. And virtually any cricketer who's ever been any good, knighthood, yeah. Not enough footballers.
Ryan Giggs has got to get it, surely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if he gets it before Beckham, there'll be a revolution, won't there?
Oh, well, you know.
Sir David.
I'm just a little bit.
If you look at
just
both,
wanted you to
Sir
think
David,
about the fact that
who's had the best career?
Sir
Ryan Giggs or David Beckham?
Sir
That's the
David,
Ryan
question,
Giggs.
right?
Sir David should
Ryan
have
Giggs.
a knighthood for services to fashion, surely, shouldn't he?
text and emails only. Text and emails.
Yeah.
Anybody from since the war. Let's not go mad about
Anyone since the war.
John L. Sullivan. Anyone since the war from the world of boxing who deserves to have a knighthood.